Welcome back, viewers of BaatShaat on Sports Trend. We are back with another episode. Again, I am in a completely different city, and we're going live from here. Today, we'll be talking about GT20 Canada, the day that had nothing in it, absolutely, with two washed out games, abandoned games. Then we'll move on to India versus West Indies. India's number 4 problem. Is it finally getting solved? We'll talk about that. We'll talk briefly on Ashes 2019, the first test. Then we'll basically wrap up with Zimbabwe's future in cricket, international cricket. Joining me will be Farooq Siddiqui in a few seconds here. Lucky is taking a break today. He's not here today. But before we go anywhere, go to our YouTube page and make sure you put a comment and on our video, and as well as hit subscribe button. Back with you in 10 seconds. Join you shortly. Farooq bhai, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
Good. Well,
welcome to the city of the champions, Raptors.
Raptors, exactly. That's where I am. I fly back tomorrow, but for now, it's very good to be back. Lots of traffic. No matter where I go, it's just packed with cars and people.
So, man, you call it traffic? There's nothing, man. There's there's no traffic. Anyhow. Exactly. How's your trip going so far?
Good. So far, so good. So, Farooq bhai, let's talk about this. Oh, yeah. One comment, Avinash. Lucky, we'll miss Lucky Singh today. Hope he's fine. He's absolutely fine. Just taking a break. Family guy has to make sure he's taking care of his family as well. So, Farooq bhai, let's start with the show. And those who are joining us are more than welcome to give comments and ask questions of Farooq bhai and myself, and we'll do our best to answer without Lucky being here. GT20, what an uneventful day. Both games abandoned. I know I was in Toronto today. I was in Brampton, and it was raining for sure, but there was no thunderstorm whatsoever. It didn't rain until 7 p.m. But the game, even the one in the morning, got abandoned. Why?
I don't know. The management probably the best one who can give you the answer, but we don't have anybody who can answer for that. But it did rain a little bit in the morning. So the problem is, we talked about, the ground is beautiful ground. They made a beautiful ground. They spent a lot of money, somewhere around $1.5 to $2 million. They spent for about 15 days or something. But the issue is the ground was not level, right? So they have to put sand to make it level. Right, so you probably notice it like when the fielder dive or catch miss, you see a big puff of sand exploding, right?
That's exactly.
So whenever it's rain, it's going to be hard because the sand takes the water and it's get really difficult for fielders and other people.
It could be an injury concern. It could be an injury concern.
It could be an injury concern. And the problem is, like, with every time we're going to have a rain in Canada, Ontario, anywhere, it has a big chance of thunderstorm. So anywhere which is a thunderstorm warning, as we talked earlier, that whenever there's a thunderstorm warning, or it could be, and then the city has this rule of 61 kilometers, any thunder strike down, they have to stop the game. And because the whole stadium is built of aluminum, iron, and all those things, steel. So I think it's more precaution. Second game, they did have twice inspection, but they did not find it appropriate to play. So that's probably what we know so far.
Well, I think, by the time the first game was washed out, there was no chances of the second game taking place, because first game, I think the weather was very good. It wasn't bad. I was in Toronto and Brampton. It was a pretty fine weather. It was very warm out there. It was a perfect day for a cricket game, but I mean, it didn't happen. I was quite shocked to see abandoned. I mean, I even had tickets for the game today. So.
Oh yeah. So it just got wasted. No problem. You can try tomorrow.
I'm going back tomorrow.
If you have time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So no, that's very unfortunate, because there was supposed to be very important game, and then each team took 1 point, right? Yeah. So let's see how the tomorrow game comes out, and then the winner of that, it's going to be a very interesting points table, because it was a lot depending on today's game, how the tournament will shape up. So
So
we'll figure it out tomorrow.
here's the update, current update as of today. Brampton Wolves sits
Yeah,
pretty on top with 9 points off 6 games. Vancouver Knights 8 points off 6 games. Hawks
yeah,
5 of 6. Tigers 5 of 5. Nationals 4 of 5. Royals a huge disappointment, 3 of 6. That's the current status as of today.
yeah. Yeah, and I just want to notice that in Sports Trend Facebook, just want to welcome Asher Zadi back to Canada. He's watching us. Aviz Sorab is like very loyal fan, and he's a pretty good critic and analyst of cricket in GTA area. But Aviz but sorry, Asher.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Asher, right? He's been a long sports journalist, sports anchor. Will definitely try to bring him on board in
Okay.
one of those program.
Yeah.
And so, Asher, if you have any comment, you can write it down and it will show up on our screen. We have this pretty cool system going on. We would love to take Asher comments soon, maybe in tomorrow, day after tomorrow. We'll figure it out.
Farooq,
So yeah, GT20 is yeah. Go ahead.
one thing. So look at the points table. Brampton Wolves, Vancouver Knights are pretty much through, right? So just so the people that are watching the show, just for your information purpose only, the top four
Yeah,
teams will qualify for the playoffs. That's right. Am I right there?
yeah, top four.
Yes. So that means the game tomorrow, which is between Montreal Tigers and Toronto Nationals, becomes very, very much interesting. Royals are completely out. They're eliminated. So we'll find out between the three teams, which is Winnipeg Hawks, Montreal Tigers, and Toronto Nationals, which of those two out of the three will make it to
Yeah.
the final round. It's very interesting. Winnipeg Hawks. I'm pretty sure they're watching the next game very closely as well.
Yeah, but Toronto has a pretty good chance tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And they must have come out from their skin and put a good show. So
Yeah.
go take a position in top four. You're rising. Everybody has a lot of expectation from him. He is performing, but maybe he looks a little bit rusty. But he's getting momentum sometime. So hopefully they'll put on a good show tomorrow and qualify for the playoffs.
Well, I think you know what, Farooq, pretty much for Toronto Nationals, it has become a virtual quarterfinal because if they lose tomorrow, they're gone. But if they win
Yeah.
tomorrow, they're through. So situation becomes tricky for Montreal Tigers as well. If they lose tomorrow, their run rate is already pretty cramped. It's pretty low, and they will be out as
Mhm.
well. So Winnipeg Hawks should consider themselves pretty safe here, but it's a virtual quarterfinal for both Montreal as well as Toronto Nationals.
Yeah.
A pretty interesting day tomorrow.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring in like I just went through today and I tried to get this information from the media department of GT20 couple of times. I didn't get anything from there, so I just did my own research and I find the list of the Canadian players who've been
Oh,
participating in GT20.
have
So
you
if we
posted it?
start from
Have you posted it anywhere?
yeah, I put it on the Sports Trend
Oh, okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Right, and I put it. The source is Crick Info and GT20 website because we didn't get any official updates and things from GT20 media.
Yeah. Would you be able
Hopefully
to,
they will.
for the viewers here, would you be able to share that right now with us?
Yeah. So like, right now, and because like in the beginning there were different names, and then there's quite a few people have added to the team. So Vancouver Knights had Rizwan Chima,
Yeah.
who's played a couple of games. Saad bin Zafar, Rayan Pathan, Harsh Thakkar, Natish Kumar, and Mahal Arshad. So Mahal Arshad hasn't got any game. Winnipeg has Ramesh Aranga, Hamza Tarek, Kaleem Sana, Varun Sadev, and Umair Ghani. Brampton Wolf has Cecil Pervez, Junaid Siddiqui, very late addition. Junaid Siddiqui, he did perform pretty well, and for whatever technical reason he was not picked up earlier, but now he's in. So he's in there. Brampton Wolves, Cecil Pervez, Junaid Siddiqui, Arman Kapoor, Arbash Khan, Faisal Jamkhandi, Nawab Singh Chima. Um, and Edmonton Royals have Navneet Dhaliwal, Simranjeet Singh Dinsa, Akash Gill,
Yeah.
Shahid Ahmad Zai, and Davy Jacobs.
Okay.
Montreal Tiger had Arsalan Khan, Nikhil Datta, Dylan Halliger, and Bapardhan Singh Sohal. And our Toronto National has Jeremy Gordon, Mark Munford, Ravinder Singh, Salman Nazar, and Rodrigo Thomas. Rodrigo Thomas is the man who's making a lot of impact.
He's
Um,
making a lot of impact.
Yeah, and I think I see Salman Nazar somewhere.
You know, you
He
know,
should be in Toronto, right?
yeah, and Khalif Sana has been
Salman Nazar.
phenomenal as well.
Yeah. So
Some of the
Salman
names.
Nazar also had a pretty good form.
That's it. So Salim Nazar, Salman Nazar, Kaleem Sana, Rodrigo Thomas, Jeremy Gordon. Those are some of the guys that have really, or Delegar, Helliger, Dylan Helliger.
Yeah.
They've been very impactful for Canadian cricket. And Rizwan Chima has always been there. Very shocking to see a Canadian player who's not only the captain of the national team at this moment, as well as he's been, back in South Africa, has played some big tournaments, has participated in IPL as well, and he's got not a single opportunity in this GT20. Davy Jacobs, quite surprising to see that. He's pretty high up there when it comes to Canadian cricket, as well as based on his experience in the past. Any
It is,
comment?
but like the cricket is very, very professional now, right? And so if you don't fit into team's plan,
Yeah,
right, doesn't matter what position and what team captain or position you have. If you don't fit in the plan, you don't get the chance. Exactly same thing happened to Rizwan Chima last year, right? He
yeah,
did not get a single game whole GT20. So I did ask for the coach Wakar Yunus at one of the press conference, like Rizwan Chima is the crowd darling of Canadian cricket, and he said, like, we know, we are aware of that, but he's just not in our game plan right now.
yeah,
So, and this year, he first two games he was planned, he played those games. Saad is playing all the games.
yeah. Saad bin Zafar, exactly.
But Salman Nazar, right, the way he performs, so he's part of the game now, and
Yeah,
he plays almost every game, and he's
he does, he does.
he's pretty much plays an important role.
And I think, I was talking to Kaleem Sana just a couple of days back. I was very fortunate to be at the hotel where all the players are staying. So I was very fortunate to
Mhm.
be close to a few of them. I said to Kaleem after your performance in the last game, do you expect, going up the order? And he said, there are talks about me going up the order, maybe playing at 5. Unfortunately, the games got abandoned today. Otherwise, you could have seen Kaleem batting higher up the order.
Mhm.
That's the conversation I had with him. But really good. I think one of the key pieces, Farooq has been the experience these Canadian players are getting. I was watching some of the players just interacting and all that stuff, just being in that lobby and really, getting that experience of how these players interact. Really good experiences they're getting. How the scheduling works, how they to fitness into their schedule, what the things they do, the diet and everything. I think it must be a great experience for them as Canadian players.
It is. It is. And Salman, I think we should mention one thing is one of the players who are attending the GG20 all the way from Australia, right? He brought some goodies
Oh yeah,
for
Chris
the
Green.
girls in. So, what is the detail? You want to share the
So
details
I
with
think
our viewers?
I've been very fortunate to have a connection through my club that I used to play for, and I no longer play for them as well in Saskatchewan. But uh, built a very good connection with Jonathan Lees, who's actually the director of Sydney Thunders, Big Bash,
Okay.
in the Big Bash League, and we've known each other for 3 years. And makes a point of sending us goodies every year. Last year was Fawad Ahmed who brought some stuff for us,
Okay.
and this year Chris Green, brought a few things, and that's why I was precisely there to meet Chris Green and take those things off him, which I'm taking back with me to Ontario, back to Manitoba, and which I'll be handing off to my crew in Saskatchewan, hopefully my people. But it's been a wonderful partnership, and for people that are watching, Sydney Thunders has a foundation, Sydney Thunders Foundation, that supports teams and clubs out there. Abigail Rajkumar, who's in Ontario, also received some help last year through a connection. So reach out and make sure that you actually connect with them and present yourself to them and see what you can gain out of that. But Chris Green, I was very fortunate, was there. He met, very good conversation we had, and we took a couple of pictures which we posted on not only Sports Trend as well as on BaatShaat's Facebook page as well. But
Yeah.
thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, it's a great connection, Farooq bhai, to have
Yeah.
every year.
So no, it's great, and if you have that picture, I know. So whenever if we get a chance, you would like to share with our viewers. It's great. So that was pretty much for the GT20. Let's see, how tomorrow turns out.
That's exactly it.
Um,
So before I move on to the next topic, which is Ashes, or sorry, India versus West Indies series, there's three
yeah,
names I'm going to take. Quite an extraordinary. I don't know if it's the impact of T20 cricket, but
yeah,
three very good fast bowlers in the last 2 weeks
yeah,
have retired from Test cricket. One is Mohammad Amir. I'm pretty sure we
yeah.
talked about that. Second is Wahab
Mhm.
Riaz. Just in Toronto, he's actually announced his retirement from Test cricket as well on August
Hmm.
2nd. So he said he's no longer available for Test cricket. The third one is Dale Steyn. So what do you
Yeah.
think? Another, big name, 93 tests, 439 test wickets. He said, I'm done. But he's picking up T20 leagues over test cricket. So you think this is the future? People are going towards that? The players are going towards that?
See, the real excitement is always the Test cricket, right? What it is, it's all about balancing your workload and very honestly listen to your body, right? So especially fast bowlers, if they both have like very long career other than Amir, Dale Steyn. So they listen to their body, right, and the other needs they have to taken care of. So now if they think they can play T20 or league all over the world and stop playing Test cricket, that's their decision. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's basically managing the workload and listen to your body. It's the same thing. But I would like to, you talk about the ballers, but I want to say is Brendan McCullum, right? He
Oh, yeah.
announced that after GT20, that's his last series. So I think we have only 1 or 2 games to see Brendan McCullum in action, and how fortunate Canadians are, right? So I would say like
I
go
was
to the
very,
ground and
I was very fortunate
go
to be
ahead.
sitting right next to him 2 days back. So
Yeah.
great to
So
be
that's something the Canadian should take it seriously
exactly.
and pay him tribute. He was a wonderful servant of the game for a long time.
Absolutely. And what a moment is chosen GT20 to do that.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Faruk, let's talk about India versus West Indies series. West Indies is known to be flamboyant. They're known to be hard hitters of the ball with less concentration. We saw them in the World Cup where they couldn't keep that momentum going for long terms and couldn't win the games in the right moments. But T20, we felt it's something in their backyard that they should be able to win that easily. India literally put out a second string side with a lot of experiments and easily whitewashed them in the T20 series. 3-0. And
Yeah.
one of the things I saw today is Lucky and I have been talking about this India's number 4 problem. They've tried, tested so many players. We had a whole show on this it's on our YouTube channel as well. But finally, Rishabh Pant at number 4 came through, scored 65 of 42 balls. You think is Rishabh Pant? I'm just going to focus on him at this point. Needs more opportunities. You think India can solve their number 4 problem by investing in someone?
See, it's too early to say,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
He's young. He showed very good temperament in Test and IPL, and India is testing, right? And India is a very strong and professional side. They
Yeah.
don't just make decision overnight. So the staff, the cricket scouts, and the coaches, they must have seen something in him, and he is proving it that he is capable of fulfilling this position. So he looks good,
And he's
but
pretty
you
young.
just cannot, excuse me.
He's pretty young as well. He's very young.
Yes, pretty young. So there's a lot of expectation and hope from him, but we just cannot give a statement that okay, the India has found his number 4.
Yeah.
So give us some time. Give him some time. He looks pretty good. He can drive the ball. He can hit sixes. So he has all the shots and temperament to play different kind of cricket. So just give some time and let's see how it goes.
That's true. And Pollard, he did quite well here in Global T20, and he's taken that same form back and scored another 50, but it was of no use because India chased the target down in with 7 wickets to spare. Let's move on to Ashes. When you
Like
talk
the
about
score is 146 was not that great.
no, it wasn't.
Um,
Honest, no, it
yeah,
was. Yeah. And the pitch, it started very slow for batting, but I think the pitch actually settled down and became very much a batting paradise, like India showed. But
yeah.
it just didn't come through for West Indies. Let's move on to our last topic of the day, which is Ashes. What a wonderful start to the series! What a turnaround! England, Lucky and I talked about it 2 days back that England took Australia so lightly, and it came back to bite them. England finished them off. Australia finished England off for 146, very low total. Nathan Lyon taking 6 wickets. Pat Cummins, Lucky picked Pat Cummins as his impact player, and I picked Nathan Lyon. We were both right. Nathan Lyon took 6 for 49. Pat Cummins took 4 wickets for 30 odd runs. You think this England team is test ready, winning a World Cup versus playing in the test matches.
Like it's they're both very professional side, right?
Yeah,
It's not about the who's ready, who's not. Maybe just like a small hangover from the World Cup. Yeah, you can say that. But it's a day of cricket, and it's not like they just went out flat. No, right? They scored. Australia scored 284. They scored 374. Australia scored 487. And Nathan Lyon did his magic, and they got out for 146. So basically, was not a bad test, but I think Australia played really well. That
yeah.
was the main thing, and
I think
especially Stephen Smith.
Steve is exactly.
Steve Smith is, he just 144 and
42.
and then he scored 142, right? So that's 200s in 2 innings after coming back and with going through all those things. So I think he was the main difference in the two teams.
Yeah. So I think, in some ways, we talked about it. Australia took a very calculated risk and, batted first on a very seeming wicket. Lost wickets. Steve Smith showed his class, scored runs, and they were at one of the conferences. Tim Payne said, "We just need to get to the fourth inning. Somehow we can win this," and that's exactly what they did. They got to the fourth inning. And they made life terrible for the English batsmen, and there were so many ODI stars in their batting lineup. Joe Root was the only guy that I expected something from. He failed. So, you talked about Rishabh Pant and you said temperament and things like that. This is the temperament was at show for Steve Smith, right? What do you think England needs to do next Test match? What do they need to focus on?
I think they have everything. They just probably just need time. It's just like they were pretty okay with first inning, but they just had like a bad day or bad couple of sessions in the last inning. So we can't say much that what they need to do. There's probably maybe one or two changes in the team. I'm not sure which one will be, and they'll be back on their track. And England is always very dangerous, right? England always very dangerous.
They will
So
come back.
we'll see some,
Just so you know, since 2001, this was their first Test win, first game in Ashes, Australia. They haven't won Ashes in England since 2001.
Yeah.
So that's how strong England is.
So you'll probably see some surprises next Test.
So Farooq, just one last comment. Worst Test match for umpiring errors. Joel Wilson, he has a Wikipedia page. The umpire Joel Wilson, he has a Wikipedia page, and I'll tell you what happened. One fan went to his Wikipedia page and edited and called him a blind umpire. He had 13 decisions overturned in this Test match. That must be a new record.
That made Aleem Dar looks really good, because Aleem Dar has like some hard decisions, but his overturn ratio was way higher, is less than actually the other umpire.
Oh, Joel Wilson was completely, I think they call him Dr. SOS. The DRS was complete savior in this case. So, we talked about this umpiring stuff and, bad day at office and everything. Do you think, when they pick umpires, is there certain things that ICC looks at? Do you have any know-how of that? I don't know what they look at.
Basically, they look, umpire, they look their physical fitness. They have a hearing test. They have vision test. And they're pretty strict in umpiring and pickup criteria and everything. And they look for track record, like the way the batsman has temperament and bowler has temperament. The umpire has temperaments too, and this is their job, right? It's just not that they just walk in and do so. And this is their career, and they do get reported on different issues and their decisions. So both teams write reviews for umpires at the end of the match.
Report, in the captain's role.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not so. I would again say it's just maybe a bad test, or maybe we are not in the ground, so I don't know what exactly happened there.
I think lucky
it could be something with a noise or something. It could be affecting umpires.
I see.
It could be they're all coming from the World Cup. I'm not sure. Aleem Dar was in the World Cup. Not sure about the other one. So they could be, like they're just so get used to of this 1 day, and now they have to do 5 day. So they will adjust to.
Justin, exactly. And I think I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Lucky's taking a break to get his eye test and hearing test because he's a head umpire. So for the fans of Lucky, next show, just ask him, make sure you ask him how his hearing test and vision test went.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Farway, that's all I had for the day. Thank you so much for
Sure.
joining me. It was always a pleasure. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully, the game, which is a very exciting game, Montreal versus Toronto. And I'm pretty sure
Yep.
a lot of people in Toronto will line up for that because Toronto has been the sweetheart team of this
Yeah.
GT20. But they'll be lining up against Montreal. If they win, it's a virtual quarterfinal. If they win, they're through to the final round. If they don't, they're out of the tournament. So for all the Toronto fans out there, Raptors already brought it home. Let's see if Nationals can do the same on the cricket side. Having said that, thank you again, Farubhai, for joining me. But any last words for our viewers?
No, you just keep watching our program, keep watching, supporting all the sporting activities, especially cricket in Canada, because it's not a game which is on the top yet, and this is where we have to take it. So
Absolutely.
any small support, any support by either watching it, subscribing it, or going to the ground, it always helps.
And that's our goal on BaatShaat and Sports, and to keep bringing you that cricket news not only from around the world but from Canada. There's a lot of passionate people and fans and players that follow the sport here, and the
Yeah.
passion is no different than what you see out in the other countries.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Lucky, have a not Lucky, sorry, Salman, have a safe flight back home, and
Yeah, thank you.
we'll chat tomorrow.
We'll be chatting tomorrow from back in Brandon. Good night.
Sure. Thank you. Bye.